either of these documents.
That's right. Yours is wrong.
I'll have to change it.
Am I signing here? Did you hand me this to sign?
No, I was pointing out the
Oh.
misspelling.
What is today? Is today the 23rd?
24th.
24th. Okay, good evening. It is November 24th. It is a Monday. We are holding the monthly RDC meeting tonight. We had to cancel last Thursday due to members' commitments and other activities. So this is the normal monthly meeting. I would like to start off with the roll call of who is here, starting to our far right.
Janice King, member.
Kathy Chappell, secretary.
Ron Moat, Vice President.
And I'm Donald Webb, President. We have a few things to go over tonight that we're going to knock out fairly quick, or try to. The first one I'd like to go over is the monthly bills that we have been given. And we've got, right now, $33,094.19 on the docket for this month. One's the sewage works for $58.50. Sewage works for $7.20. Those should be coming off. This should be the last month we pay those. Next month, the NRP group takes over paying those. Woohoo. Peters Consultants, $819.86. Those are for reports that they did. Jackson Lewis, that is $572.68. Tim Showalter, the man who films us, $150. Fager, Baker, Daniels, this was for the St. Francis lawsuit, $26,077.95. And Lewis and Capps, those are our lawyers, $5,408.00. So, are there any questions on the bill? Like I say, we've already received the money that we're going to pay Fager, Baker, Daniels through the settlement of the lawsuit. So we're just finishing up the old bills. If nobody has any questions or concerns, I'd like to make a motion to pay these.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I will sign. There was two on the piece. I have to find it.
Oh, your pen. I just brought a red one.
Here it is. I'm also going to cover two other bills that we got. Dan got, and he got them late, but they also go towards Fager, Baker, Daniels. There were two other final invoices, and they will be on the docket next month. But I'm going to make a motion that we pay these two. One is $7,875.1157.60. These are the last two invoices for that St. Francis Works. I'm going to make a motion that we go ahead and authorize Dan to pay these, and then they will be on the docket next month, and we can vote for the official record. But this way, we get them done and out of the way, because one of them was showing past due. I don't know if there was a mess up in the mail. So I'd like to make a motion to pay the other two.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that passes. I'm just going to sign this, and we'll give this to Dan tomorrow to pay. Okay, and then one other thing, and then we can get on to the mayor. I've got a resolution here for the Wi-Fi. As many of you know, this summer in July, we took down Digital City. We pulled off 86 units that were attached to telephone poles because the Indianapolis Power and Light was charging us $320 a month. To save that money, we went ahead and took them down. It cost us about $10,000 to remove them all. They are currently in a pile at the Department of Public Works out there off of Churchman. Through looking around and trying to find somebody who might be interested in obsolete, used electronic equipment, Dr. Kaiser was of great help in finding this company called Five Star Technology Solutions. And the man, Jim Branson, came out, evaluated the routers and all that, and he has made us an offer of $1,000 and then 15% of whatever they can sell it for. And they will take all the stuff out of City Hall down where the old fire trucks were parked, and they will pick up all the stuff out there at DPW. They'll go through it, they'll sell it for what they can, and we would get 15% of whatever it is. As many of you know, technology becomes obsolete rather fast. The sooner we can sell this and get free up space and get it out off the city, I think the better off we are. In writing this resolution, I think the stuff has we said basically I will read the resolution. I think this is our third one, so it'd be resolution 3. Here, whereas the following municipal pieces of obsolete Wi-Fi equipment, 86 pole-mounted units and 450 router devices have an estimated value of $5,000 and no cents, of less than $5,000. And whereas other efforts to sell said equipment have not been successful, now therefore it be resolved that the above referenced equipment would be sold to Five Star Technology Solutions on the following comprehension basis. $1,000 upon delivery plus 15% of the sales price minus the cost of sale, including advertised transportation and storage costs prorated if applicable, realized by Five Star Technology Solutions upon the resale of the above listed equipment. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall go in effect immediately upon passage by the Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission, signed by the Commission President, attested by the Clerk Treasurer, and signed by the Mayor. So, any questions on that? Any ideas or thoughts? If not, I'm going to make a motion that we approve this resolution and sell off Digital City.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So,
Won't you be glad to get that out of the way?
Yeah. You ever seen the movie,
I bet.
I forget the name of it, just one mess after another. That's sad.
I just want to forget Digital City.
yeah, I agree.
Take the
Done,
money and
over.
run.
There is still a
Oh, I'm
couple
sorry.
of pulls out there that I'm working with Grant, and I'm probably gonna wait till next spring and see if we can't finish up, because there's a couple of units that were left up
I have
that were,
one
they were
personal.
told, but for the most part, we got 99% of it down, and we're not being billed by IPL, so
Right.
it may be that I just don't even bother with that and save the money, but that was the biggest driver, is that they were charging us $320 a month, which if you figure that out, that's what, $4,200 a year roughly, which it would have taken 2 years. It would have eaten up what it cost us to take it down, so
Exactly.
taking it down was the correct call, and I think selling it now is the correct call.
It's just ancient history.
Yeah, ancient.
With that, I don't have any, I think we've paid all the bills and dealt with all the old business. Only thing I could think of that we had was that me and Ron did attend the groundbreaking of the, along with the mayor and other people, NRP group. It sounds like they're gonna have that place up by next spring.
Wow.
So they're excited about it, they're very happy about it, and I think the citizens will be very happy about it, so that's all I had. Any other old news?
No, I just have a question. That gentleman that came that had property adjoining, did they purchase that to increase
I
their,
never heard.
oh, just curious.
I was curious too, so I never heard any more back from him or on that, so with that, we'll open the floor to the mayor, because he had a presentation tonight.
Thank you very much. You want me to go up there or right?
That's
here?
up to Tim, I'm
You go up
fine
there,
with
we
where
can
you
see you
are.
on TV.
If you don't wanna be on TV, stay there, that's fine.
In this, coming up on December 18th, we're gonna know, and I think we have a 99.9% chance that we're gonna be getting money for the sidewalk program on Churchman. I don't know if you got these or not.
I did, thank you, I knew there was something I left at home.
Just very briefly, I want to just touch base on it.
Thank you.
And what I asked Don would be if the redevelopment commission would want to, in lieu of paving, see at the bottom it says local funds, 15, 16, 17, 18. If you would, that's the city's match. If the redevelopment commission would be interested in picking up that match. We are probably going to be awarded right at $800,000 for that project. And it qualifies for you to participate because it attaches to a TIF district. So it's something that I would ask that you consider. I think it would be a very good investment. And this-
Okay, which part is ours then? Is that 448,980?
No, Kathy, down here, see
Down
that?
here, all
Over
these.
4 years.
The first,
Oh, gotcha, okay.
in 2015, we'd pay 134,200, and
I
then
see it now.
2016, 104,200. 2017, 12,800, and then 2018 would be $197,780.
Gotcha, okay.
Why the balloon payment in 2018?
That's when the project 2018 is when the project begins. Everything up to 2018 is planned. The construction is in 2018. And it's the blue area, the blue line here. Here's the NRP group right here. That sidewalk goes all the way out to Arlington, and the yellow part here is what they've just got finished doing out there on Church Street. So I would ask that you consider doing that on behalf of the city. Another thing I wanted to update you on, at the next city council meeting, the Department of Metropolitan Development is going to be giving a presentation on rezoning Marion County. They're going to completely rezone Marion County. That affects Beech Grove two ways: how they want their neighborhood zoned, and what do we want to do with Main Street from a zoning perspective. But what's interesting about it is, they, when I met with them, they are willing to come out and work with you folks to develop a sign ordinance. And I would take them up on that offer if I was.
Absolutely.
They're very legitimate and very nice people and willing to help you folks. And so I would certainly recommend you consider that. But they'll be here next Monday.
Is that the first, Dennis?
December 1st.
First?
at the council,
Okay.
Under special presentations.
So then we'll meet with them separately from that
Yes.
meeting? Okay,
And I'll give you all the contact information and
Okay.
they'll come to work with you.
okay. Just as an FYI, read what we currently have for Beech Grove. It's very vague, and it doesn't cover all the different kinds of signs that we can have here. So I think it's a really good idea to work with them.
Yeah.
I totally agree, because it seems to me like Marion County's ordinances are harder than ours.
We really
And-
don't have
and-
much of one.
Right. And I mean, to me, again, being a resident of Marion County and a citizen of Beech Grove, I think it's important that we do work with Marion County and have uniformity on this. I think that eliminates confusion, and it also eliminates cost for businesses. Maybe a business has a place on the north side and wants to come south. Well, our signage, to me, should be matching Marion County, so that we're, you know, it's not, well, I have to get a lawyer, I have to go downtown, I have to research this to figure out what I can do in Beech Grove. Beech Grove, to me, should be, you know, at least on the same level with.
I think so too.
And then I'd like to make a comment on the funding. I had talked to the mayor about this, and we, in our budget, said that we'd be willing to put up $175,000 for road improvements this year. And I said, I would put it up to you guys, but I said we could put that $175,000, we could use the $134,200 of that towards this grant. You know, that'd still leave us $40,000 for various paving projects, but that would cover the first year of the grant. And I think it's an important grant, because one of the things I had talked to at the Lost Council meeting is the rep from Indianapolis. I asked about Indianapolis helping us to work on getting sidewalks down Emerson Avenue. Because I see people who work at McDonald's or are walking from McDonald's through dirt paths and trails, dragging stuff, and it's just a matter of time before somebody twists an ankle and falls out and gets hit by a car. Now, the feedback I got from them was kind of discouraging, in that I'm talking maybe 400 yards of sidewalk at the most, and they're like, well, you got to worry about utilities, you got to yada, yada, yada. It could be over $1 million. And I'm just like, we wonder why government's broke. That is totally ridiculous. Now, she said not to give up hope, but I think sidewalks for Emerson Avenue and that business area and even Thompson are important. And I mean, even the strip mall, I can't believe we can't at least get sidewalks along some of it. I struggle with that. So I'm still, next year, I'm hoping to be able to work with Indianapolis and see where we can at least get some sidewalks built. You know, if we have the money to build it, I'd like to do it, just again for public safety, and I think it's important. Sidewalks, again, show, you know, infrastructure, and I think it's a good thing. But I would say I have no issue, and it's up to you guys, but I have no issue with using that $175,000 to cover the first year of the grant.
Do we have to approve all 4 years? Can we
I
just
would
approve one?
recommend that you do that.
Dennis, what happens to the project if we don't?
Well, I can't, I mean, we'll come up with some other way to fund it.
Okay.
Because it's a total of like $1.3 million project. I'll spend $450,000 to get $1 million.
Sure, sure.
Do we have to give you an answer today?
No,
That's fine. I mean, I was looking at this year because we had appropriated the budget. I wasn't looking at the next 3 years.
Right.
Because
see, that if you do the next 2 years, that's what all you would have to do for paving. You do the balance you could do for something else.
okay.
Dennis, is there any reason for us to think that these couldn't go up, these?
No, that's the total project, what it's gonna cost.
Okay,
See, the 1.24 million, that's the total project.
right. But between now and 2018, you're saying these are, once this is all agreed upon, it's in
It's locked
concrete?
in.
Okay,
The RDC would be committed to $448,980.
Over 4 years.
Over 4
yeah,
years.
that's what I said in the very beginning, yeah.
And that 134 represents what, about 75% of the 175 that you mentioned earlier?
Oh, I'd have to figure it out.
I'm just eyeballing it.
Yeah, a lot.
I hate not having my bifocals now.
Middle age.
No kidding. That represent 29% of the, so 29, figure 29, 26, what, 5, and then what would be the rest, about 40%? I think it's a good project. I mean, because here's the thing, Churchman, if you look out there, I mean, it's a fairly, to me, it's an area that's still got some development potential left. And, Churchman Avenue is nice, but it hasn't gotten a whole lot, you know what I mean? That whole area I don't think would hurt us, because there is still some development left on it. But just for the safety of the high school kids and people in general, I think this project is really kind of neat, and that it's going to take Churchman Avenue from being a truck line and everything else to, it's going to move that business traffic out of it and make it more, I guess, what would it be, residential friendly?
Pedestrian friendly,
Yeah.
bikes and.
How are you going to move the truck traffic off Churchman by way of the sidewalks?
And the mayor, if you look at the picture, eventually what they're going to do, the way I understood it, is they're going to turn like where Arlington and Churchman is, it'd be turned into like a huge roundabout, and they're going to change the Big Four Road to
Oh.
where, yeah.
Right here is Arlington and
Right.
Churchman. We applied, in the spring, we're gonna apply for federal funding for what they call a complete street project. From that intersection that way, because we want all of this truck traffic, we wanna get it off of this road, get it onto this road and get it out that way. So, and that's as a result of this, when this Metrics finally goes online in February, they'll be running 50 tankers a day up and down Churchman Avenue.
Can we mandate that they take advantage of that new construction? Can we preclude them from using Churchman after we make these improvements, assuming we
They'll
go
want
forward?
to do it, because already now, Alro has put us, they used to stage all their trucks out on Churchman. Now they stage them on their property because they put a staging area back here onto Big Four. So they've recognized that they need to get their trucks off of this street and back here, away from pedestrians. And Kinetrix wants to take all theirs, this property right here, the old refined metals property, they're gonna buy that, they wanna buy it, and that will be their staging area for tankers, so they can get them off of this street here. So that's what's gonna happen down there, and then this is gonna be future development down here.
That's the old CSX.
Yeah.
Which-
So here's, here's the NRP group, and here's the Safe Routes to School that they've already done.
So will that traffic go by the NRP group's place then, on the
Oh,
Amtrak road?
Yes.
What'd you just ask?
Where the Amtrak is, see, where the NRP group is?
Right, which is right here.
Right. Well, are they gonna put, well, they'd probably put a light down there at, what is that street? Is that Shave?
Chaff.
Chef?
Chef.
No, what they're gonna do is, when they did the zoning, they rezoned it, they vacated Bell Fountain in here. So, that's not gonna be a road anymore.
Oh,
Now, one of the things that nobody really it's right here, I'm sorry. What's really gonna help the city of Beech Grove is, this sewer, that runs from Amtrak over to Emerson, into this area across Emerson, is not nearly big enough. So the NRP group is gonna replace that sewer.
oh, good.
So that's a huge improvement. So there's more to it than that, I mean, there's a lot of parameters. So that's the project we're working on, and we'll find out the 18th. I know we're gonna be funded, I don't know, but I speculate we're gonna be funded because they've already sent the budget forms and the DES number for the project to the DPW.
You said the 18th of December?
Yes.
Is that something we want to vote on tonight, or do you want
We,
to?
the 20th of December, we happen to have a meeting, so,
Just happen to
I
have.
thought we were not going to meet in December.
Yeah, I do too.
oh,
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but
it's up to you guys. If you guys are comfortable, I'm comfortable with it, because, again, I agree with the mayor. If someone's gonna give me $1 million for 448,000, it's hard to pass that up. And, you know, this last year, we presented 220,000 for roads. We budgeted 175,000, so we kind of have started a track as far as development, and I mean, I think that whole project improves the city and adds value to it, so I would ask for thoughts or open comments.
I'm fine.
Now, I don't know what future RDCs may think of this, or if we have to put it down in writing as a firm commitment. I mean, I don't know, like, say, in 2018, what that RDC board will look like, or, you know,
Hopefully they will make decisions like before. That's what it's saying.
but I think it's a good idea, and I mean, but it's your guys' call. And if you wanna wait, Janice, I mean, we've got time, we can even wait till January and do it. I mean, it's just out there.
It's not just up to me. If everybody else agrees, I mean, I
Well,
don't
no,
think it's a
I'm-
bad
I mean, do you
idea.
want a chance for Mac? I
I don't
realize
think it's
Tammy
bad.
doesn't vote, but she
Yeah.
she
And that's
might have an
fine,
opinion.
we can wait, I mean, like I say, I do not wanna be exclusive, I want everybody to have, you know,
I agree with that.
that's one of the things that's very important to me, is nobody will be shouted down here, everybody gets a voice.
Absolutely.
Also, I don't know if you want to do it in December or January, but a couple months back, I come and talked to you about cultural trail, because I want to tie the schools to
Right.
the parks and the library and a couple other points. And you folks talked about the Greenway as part of the master plan already. Well, I want to revisit that because, and apply for that funding again back in the spring. But I want the input from the redevelopment commission, because that's where it started. So I don't know if you want to hear a presentation from Crossroads Engineers in January concerning, but I've already talked to them about starting that process to fund that project, because I think it's relevant to the city.
Anywhere greenways have gone in, they've added value to homes, they've improved communities, they have made them attractive, so, yeah, I'm all in favor of it, because, I mean, I've read the studies on the Monon Trail. I mean, even when the Pleasant Run Trail is going through, if you look, the houses along that are nicer than the ones that are a few blocks off. And so I don't have a problem with that. The thing I worry about is, will we have the money? Because, again, St. Francis property taxes are still under appeal.
Well, I think the city can partner with you folks and do it. I think it's relevant enough project that we need to really do this.
Well, I mean, I agree we probably need to talk about it, but for me personally, yeah, I would be enthusiastic about it.
Crossroads is who you originally talked to when the
When they
RDC.
originally designed the
Yeah.
project, it
Yeah.
was Crossroads.
And is that who you would select again, or would you open it up for?
Yeah, I wouldn't reinvent the wheel.
Okay,
They've already
Now,
done
If I
it,
was you
I think.
folks, I would tweak it to bring it up to current, what you want to do with it, but
I think I'd want to hear from Crossroads again.
I don't disagree with that, and it might be one of those things where we maybe would put out the word, maybe have a community meeting on it to get input.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
know we
think
get a
so
lot
too.
of people here as it is, but,
he's working on it. I mean, they're working on it, but it's a pro bono thing. He's just bringing it back
Right.
up. We've talked about it. And Trent from Crossroads serves as a technical advisor for me on the MPO. So we'll be at the meeting in December. We've already talked about it coming in front of you to discuss this, and I just think it's a really good project.
I don't disagree.
Right.
So maybe I'll tell him we'll come and see you in January.
Yeah, I
That
think
makes
that's a good
sense.
idea.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Thank you.
One
We're
other,
try- we're- It's coming back around. It just takes a little time.
one other thing, I got an email from Jeff Peters and Robert talking about, the people at St. Francis, and they sent out their kind of expectations letters. Did you guys happen to read that?
I
Did I
didn't.
send that to you guys? I don't remember if I did
Remember
or
it, I don't
not.
think I got it.
Well,
I
if
did.
not, I will email it to you, and I apologize for that, but some of their expectations are, like, once the abatements come off, they'd expect us to put 75% of the money we receive from them through property taxes back into their place.
Of course they would.
And it
And
wasn't
again,
what I expected them to come up with for that project,
that was
actually.
the other thing is, it
I was
looks
a
like
little
a huge nursing
disappointed.
home.
That's what a huge nursing.
Now, again, and one of the other things that has bothered me, and again, we're new, and I'm not jumping on anything, but
Right.
I sent Patsy, I don't remember, was it Bowright? I can't remember her name, but I sent Patsy an email about a month ago saying, hey, how's it going? We're anxious to hear from you guys. Can you give me an update? And I never received anything back on an email. And now I understand that the property is going to be sold. I think the 10th of December is a date that was thrown out that I'd heard somewhere. But I talked to Jeff about it, and I said, we're going to need to have a meeting where we have the mayor and Jeff and Robert, and we all sit down, because, like I say, to me, some of the stuff I understand, and like, if Buffalo Street had fallen into disrepair by it, and they needed it paved, and the city didn't have the money, I understand that. But again, they're getting 5 years worth of abatements. If it's, we want you to give your 75% so we can build a new cafeteria inside this building, I'm gonna have an issue with that. But if it's like, hey, a sidewalk's bad, or we need this street repaved, that I can kind of understand. But I just want to give you guys a heads up, because that is coming sooner rather than later. And it may be that we call a special Saturday meeting or something like that, where we can just kind of sit down at a table and go over what they're proposing. But until it's officially sold, we can wait on that. But the mayor saw the letter, and I'm sorry if I didn't, I thought I sent it to you guys, but I may not have.
You may have them.
But I will check, and I'll send it back out to you to take a look at. Because when people start, putting those types of expectations on us, it makes me uncomfortable.
I was just so disappointed with what they were proposing to do after the conversations we'd had with them and what we were looking for this community. I felt like nobody paid attention, or they already knew before we ever talked to them what they planned on doing in the first place.
I don't think they know yet.
I don't know, it sounded like they
I really
did.
don't. They're
Really?
in
So you
town
buy
now.
that expensive property and then you figure it out later after you buy it?
I think, I got the idea that they've done several different types of projects, and we talked to them about, 3 or 4.
Sure.
But then all
The
of a sudden.
hospital in
I
Dayton
know.
was the one I remember them talking about.
Well, remember, we also talked about dorm rooms for colleges, we talked about condos for families, And all that came back was for senior citizens. I'm like, that's not gonna help the city. We need families here.
I think there's still looking at what to do with it. I think they're focused on financing. And they meet with Jeff tomorrow. But I can't commit to anything like that. That's a, you folks and a council matter.
I just wanted to give you guys the heads up, because if they do need to meet with us, or they want to meet with us, at some point I would expect them to start reaching out and having some communication.
Right.
And I haven't seen that yet, which, like I say, until I read in the paper or they've signed the paper, it's not sold. It's still owned by St. Francis.
Right.
I mean, I pray that it gets sold. I pray that they buy it, because again, I think if they buy it, I think St. Francis is maybe more likely to drop this appeal, because again, they're running up legal bills, and it may be throwing good money after bad, where they could just be done with it, and then we could get our money and everybody would be happy. But I just wanted to make you guys aware of it, and I will send that email or forward it, because when I saw it, I saw that Jeff had talked to Robert and a few other people, and I was like, hey, please just make sure we're included in this. I go, we just don't want to get the lawyer bill for this. We want to actually hear what's going on.
Yeah.
So I did voice that concern.
I want to go back to signage for just a minute.
Please do.
Like I said, I was going through the criteria. There is a specific piece of criteria for Beech Grove that says that a tenant cannot have a banner as signage for longer than 60 days. And it's finable. So there are several that we've talked about that have banners up that we could get taken down immediately.
That would be, I'll tell you how you can, give me a recommendation how you might want to approach that. You might want to send an email to the compliance division, because it's a local ordinance, and the compliance division can enforce the local ordinance.
Okay. Okay. That's all I had about that. I just thought that was one item we could take care of real quick.
And it's compliance@beachgrove.com.
Anybody would be responsible for doing that one?
I will.
I just have a question about Frank. Where are we with Frank?
Did any of you guys read his report summary at all, or glance through it?
I glanced through it. Did I read it? No.
I read it, and it's kind of like reading a book on Lincoln. You know what happened to him. Maybe it's not, what I mean? He gets shot, but this one has a little more detail into why he got shot. And there's a little more detail in it, but was there, I guess for me, it left me wanting, because I'm not sure. It didn't really give me any concrete ideas on where to go with the RDC or
Listen.
investing in the community. It told me things about the community I kind of knew. Maybe I'm a little know more in a little more detail. Like one of the things that shocked me was we don't have a lot of housing in Beech Grove that's over $150,000 in value. I mean, I'm talking there's maybe 125 units. There's not a lot. The majority of our housing is under $100,000. And, so then he's talking about redevelopment of homes. Well, I'm sitting here thinking, how would that even begin? What are you talking about? Destroying a whole block and then putting $100,000 homes on them? And so, you know what I'm saying?
Wasn't that kind of like what we were afraid of, though?
I didn't really know what to expect.
I'll put it, like I said, I read it.
You thought it'd be more detailed, but that's not the final, is it?
I think there's still a final coming. I can't believe the final's gonna have something in there that's just gonna knock my socks off. And again, until we have the St. Francis money, I'm not sure about pursuing further with this.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
If we're not real impressed with the report, then I don't think we probably should.
Well, I don't know, maybe we need to hold a class or something, or have a meeting where he explains to us what we should be getting out of this. Maybe I just don't grasp it, but reading through this, it's statistics, and a lot of it's stuff that you could either find on the Beech Grove website or that has been cited before. There's some new stuff there, but you know what I'm saying?
So it was a market research report.
We wanted to hear.
That's
some
what I
solid
would
ones.
call it.
It doesn't sound like there's a lot of substance there.
Well, and again, I would like, like I say, how do we, Frank, we've got a limited budget. How would you suggest, where is the suggestion of, well, you could do X, Y, and Z? And I mean, like, one of the things he mentions is the CSX properties. Well, as far as I know, it isn't for sale, and as far as I know, up until a few years ago, they didn't even realize they owned it, is what I had heard. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but, and again, even if it was for sale, we don't have the money to buy it, we don't have the money to develop it, and if anything, we should have learned our lesson about buying property, especially property that's been owned by railroads or,
Right, that we're
or
gonna give
toxic
away.
companies or stuff like that, to stay away from that stuff. I mean, I've got a trash dump I can sell you pretty cheap, so, we, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I struggle with this report, and so, unless Frank can come in front of us and just knock our socks off, well, hey, on this page, this is where I explain this, and this is what this means.
I don't think Frank will be the salesman.
Oh,
History repeats itself.
I
huh?
understand where you're going with that, but
When is he supposed to have this done?
I'm not sure. I have not followed up with him.
Okay.
I do think that you should come up with a different comprehensive redevelopment plan for the city.
Well, that company I talked to, that Green Street, they wanted to see Frank's information before guiding us on creating another comprehensive plan.
See, and I'd like to get that report in a PDF so we could send it to them, and also we could put it out on the city website for people to read.
Right. And I'm sure there's more people that would help us write that plan than the guy
Well,
I've been talking to, but.
And I guess the thing I get with the Green Street and all that, again, I think it's where we sit down in a meeting room and we have city council members, we have the mayor, we have the clerk treasurer, and we all need to talk about start a vision for what we think it should be.
Maybe we would be better off talking to a city planner or somebody who knows how to do this. I mean,
They
all
are
of
city
this-
planners.
Well, I mean, another city
Oh,
planner.
yeah, I agree.
Because he's not giving us what we need.
Well, I mean, I think the report,
Marion County has several we could work with.
well, are you talking about Frank or Green Street?
Green Street's a
Green
city
Street's
planner.
Kathy, yeah, they're a plan, and I mean,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should talk to just one.
I don't disagree, and again, I think we need to see where we are financially with this. Can we do these things? Because again, if we
Sure.
didn't have, if we didn't have $6 million in bond payments that we're paying on yearly, $580,000 a year we're paying until 2021, 2023. Well, if we didn't have that, we could have borrowed the money, or we'd have a lot more. We don't have $580,000 a year to spend, and then that opens up possibilities. But my feeling is, we got to pay off that limit of a car we bought, and then go from there. Being frugal, or I would say financially responsible, is something that we need to do. You're expected to do it in your private life. You expect your government to do it as well. So, but I mean, if Frank comes back, I think we should listen to him. But I mean, like I say, I read parts of the report, and then other parts, it's like, wait a minute, I saw this somewhere. I kind of skimmed over those, but I probably will go through with a highlighter if I know Frank's coming back to pick out certain points to ask him on. But if you get a chance, you want to look at it, I would suggest it. But is it going to blow? I didn't blow my socks off. And it's not that I think it's a bad report. It's just a lot of it's out there. Is if you sat down on Google and the internet on a Saturday and spent about 8 or 9 hours, you could find probably 70% of what was in there.
Wow.
Or at least that's what I felt. I could be wrong. My wife will tell you I am at times. So, but that was just my feelings on it.
Have you read that? The inform,
Have not.
yeah, I've skimmed it, but I have not read it.
See, that's what I need. I'll send him an email. I'll put that on my note to send him an email, because they never have sent me the PDF of that, and I'd like to get the PDF again, so city council members, the mayor, the clerk treasurer, and we can put it up on the RDC website.
Right.
Because here's the thing: we paid $5,000 for it, or we paid $1,700 our share, but that's public money. That's a public document. There's nothing confidential in it. It should be up on the city website for people to look at. And then criticize us if they think it's a fluff piece or something, but, because I think I still got Frank's card at my workplace, so.
Maybe he could come to our January or even February meeting.
Well, right now, I'd say our February, because it sounds like our January, the mayor's pretty much got
Yeah.
that calendar full.
Well, that gets him from now till February to finish this up and get it in PDF form and get
Right.
it to us. I would suggest that to him. If you're gonna email him, just say, hey,
I don't disagree, guys. I'll take care of that. And like I said, I'll forward that other thing from Jeff Peters to you guys. I thought I did, but maybe I didn't.
well, I'm not saying you didn't, I'm just not sure I've read it all.
I try to include you
I-
guys on
I think
everything, but sometimes I.
When you mentioned the name Patsy, I think I do remember seeing something, but I'm at work trying to skim
I
over it.
understand. Well, you were there with me. I mean,
I got one email from her.
I got an
Thanking
email.
for meeting us or
That's the
whatever.
only email I got, and like I say, before the November meeting, I'd asked for an update.
Yeah.
Because again, I have found stuff on the internet where they have talked to citizens and told them what their plans are with that development, but they haven't talked to us. Or citizens have claimed that they have talked to them and this is what it's gonna be, where, I think that's where you probably saw some of the, well, it's gonna be a senior home and,
It was in that information they sent.
Yeah,
yeah,
it
well,
was.
that was in the information, but I also saw, supposedly, that's where I saw supposedly they're closing on the 10th, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, but they, in the coming month, I hope will reach out to us and start talking with us, because I do think that we can help them and vice versa, but if they go to set up 300 or 400 senior living units and just turn it in, those I worry about, because again, you worry about the quality of them, and you worry that they're not gonna take care of the building, that they're gonna use the 5 years of tax abatement and the other tax credits they're gonna get. They'll use it, run it down, and run out, and that's what I wanna make sure doesn't happen.
We just have one down the street, and we have one
But in
over.
fairness, that NRP group, they're talking about possibly a stage 2. And where they're talking about stage 2 is like where Beech Grove Tire is, that block area there. They're talking about buying all of that, taking out that street and having even more senior, making it even, add more development to it. Because in talking to their president who was there and Mary, people are already calling about it. They want to get in there.
Calling about him, really? Wow.
They will be sold out before they're even open. That's what I'm saying. And if you, well, again, look at the population. I mean, the biggest generation of Americans is retiring and getting older. And if you look at these places, these are like miniature houses that they live in. And if they need more care, they can get more care in there. And I mean, it's less responsibility, easier living. So, I mean, there's a demand out there. And here's the good thing about that development is it's 8.8 million going on the tax rolls, right? But the nice thing is, how many of those people are going to be sending their kids to schools? 0. But their taxes are going to pay for schools and to pay for roads and stuff. So I mean, that
But it won't do us any good, we'll be kids.
well, Dr. Kaiser's finding them from all over the place. So, and I mean, I still think that project's a good one, and I think this one, I think St. Francis will be a good one. It's just, like I said, I saw that email and it was cautionary to me, and I want to make sure that we do meet with them before because I agree with you. I thought there was going to be like a
Like
a
a
bunch of
multi-use.
restaurants on the front and an
Some
open
retail.
gathering place, and then maybe they'd have a rehab center there and a few senior apartments, but like the tall tower, they could put condos in there for families and have all these neat things, different things that would make it an attraction. And, when I saw their brochure they sent, it's like, yeah, I was the same way. I was like,
What
wait a minute, this isn't
happened?
what Patsy and the gentleman, expressed, so. Anybody have anything else? Tentatively, I suggest we plan on meeting in January. I don't remember what date it is.
Well, what about December? We're gonna meet in December? When at the 18th?
I want to leave the meeting up there, but if we don't have anything major, I'd suggest we cancel it maybe the week before. But just in case something because you never know what's going to come up. I agree. It's late enough in December, close enough to Christmas, but if this place at St. Francis closes and they want to come and meet with us, I don't want to cancel the meeting and then have to ask you guys to come back to it. But
Yeah.
is
I'm fine with that.
that okay?
Yep.
Okay, does any open comments for anybody? You have anything else, Mr. Mayor?
No, have a nice Thanksgiving.
You as
I would say
well.
that to anybody that happens to watch this. Well, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
I
Adjourn. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Tim.